In today's video, we will highlight the financial struggles faced by the U.S. middle class, including the difficult choices they must make between paying for necessities like food, energy bills, and medical care. The cost of living crisis has hit hard, leaving families with stagnant wages and unable to maintain the same level of financial security as previous generations. Rising costs of necessities like energy, groceries, entertainment, and basic needs have worsened their living conditions. Unfortunately, the situation is only set to worsen in 2022. With few middle-class workers able to afford new cars or trucks. The average price of a new vehicle has soared to an eye-watering $48,182, coupled with high interest rates. This means that the majority of middle-class earners, with an average income of $43,350 for an individual and $130,000 for a family of two working adults, cannot afford new vehicles. Interest.com managing editor Mike Sant advised against spending such a large portion of income on a ride that costs between $30,000 to $40,000, even if one can't afford the monthly payment. Middle-class households are compelled to cut down on their expenses on branded products owing to their limited financial resources. Recent retail sales figures for July reveal that there has been a 28% decline in brand name purchases as middle-class consumers struggle to afford even the most basic necessities. The middle class in the U.S. is grappling with a staggering average student loan debt of $39,351 and is unable to keep pace with the escalating cost of education. Between 2010 and 2020, the average student loan debt balance surged by 97%, and obtaining loan approval is now more challenging for middle-class families than ever before. Consequently, millions of middle-class children are unlikely to have a better quality of life than their parents due to this enormous financial burden. At present, around 51 million households in America earn insufficient income to afford housing, food, childcare, health care, transportation, and a cell phone in their monthly budget. Consequently, millions of individuals continue to struggle to maintain a basic middle-class lifestyle. According to a recent study by the United Way Alice Project, which represents 43% of American households, 75% of middle-class Americans feel that their income is not keeping up with their cost of living, which is a 16% increase since December 2020. Furthermore, real wages are declining, while inflation is rising, further eroding the purchasing power of consumers. Middle-class workers are struggling to meet their monthly expenses. According to a Money Skin analysis, consumer debt has skyrocketed from $1,540 per person in 1980 to $58,600 per person in 2022. Nearly 60% of the average household income of $97,000. In addition, over one-third of the U.S. population, or 108 million Americans, do not have dental insurance, and those who do struggle to afford more complex procedures due to high co-payments. As a result, middle-class Americans often postpone or skip necessary dental care, with untreated dental issues affecting 1 in 4 individuals between 20 and 64 years old. Gallup research also revealed that millions of middle-class workers are unable to save for retirement, with 59% citing a lack of funds as the main reason. Around 20% of middle-class Americans aged 65 and older have no retirement savings at all, and 61% worry about not having enough money to retire. Furthermore, the average American spends $12,000 $530 on medical care annually, a 10% increase from 2019 levels, with 66% of households forced to choose between paying for food, heating their homes, or seeking medical care. Finally, 8 in all Americans owe a total of $4.1 trillion in healthcare debt, leaving middle-class families struggling to choose between paying for basic needs and medical expenses. As living expenses continue to rise, your middle-class workers can afford to establish a financial safety net, which is crucial for economic stability. According to a Bankrate survey, only 1 in 7 middle-class households have emergency savings that cover at least 6 months of expenses, while more than 25% have no savings at all. The rest have small to moderate amounts of savings that are insufficient to cover 6 months' worth of expenses. Despite the well-known benefits of healthy eating, middle-class families are opting for processed, high-calorie food items, as even basic fruits and vegetables have become 12% more expensive than a year ago. This makes healthy eating options unaffordable for many families. Increasingly, middle-class couples are foregoing marriage due to the exorbitant cost of weddings, which average $28,000 in the United States. The cost of raising a middle-class child has never been higher, with a CNBC analysis estimating that it will cost $286,000 to raise a child from birth to age 17 in 2022. Rising childcare costs, which account for about 20% of a typical family's annual income, are leaving families with less money for other essential expenses such as housing, retirement, and savings. Additionally, the cost of divorce litigation in the United States has more than tripled since 1970, with former couples now paying up to $17,000. And those with children potentially paying more than $31,000. A recent statistical survey conducted before the summer found that a majority of middle-class households in America are unable to afford a vacation without making significant financial sacrifices. More than half of middle-income earners, about 52%, said they must forego major purchases to take a vacation, and nearly half, at least 47%, stated they must give up other forms of entertainment. Additionally, 43% of these households avoid spending on essential items such as new clothing and shoes. Recent estimates reveal that roughly 25% of Americans currently spend over 10% of their net income on energy, placing them in the energy poor group. Due to the continuously increasing energy costs, more individuals are at risk of falling into this category. According to economists, high energy expenses are no longer limited to low-income households, as the percentage of so-called energy poor people is expanding, particularly in the lower middle-class American middle class. A perfect storm of events is looming on the horizon, and significant portions of our society are already experiencing financial hardship. As global events accelerate, it's crucial to recognize that the worst is yet to come. We value your feedback and welcome your comments and suggestions in the section below.